Okay. All right, it's 5:30. We'll call the meeting to order. First order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Harris, would you like to lead us?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, next up is approval of the agenda. Can I have a motion for approval?
I move we approve the agenda.
Okay, and a second.
I second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, it carries. Next thing is to go into executive session for purpose of discussions or consultations with designated representatives of the FHUSD to consider its position and instruct its representatives regarding negotiations for the purchase, sale, or lease of real property. Can I have a motion to adjourn to executive session?
I so move.
And a second.
I second.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, 5-0. All right. Okay, we're ready to reconvene the regular meeting. So, first thing on the agenda is the approval of minutes for April 16th, and there are a couple of changes I'd like to propose.
Make a motion to reconvene or no?
No,
We do.
Oh,
no,
We don't?
I don't think so. No,
I
just
thought
to
we did.
adjourn. Yeah. Okay, so on the minutes from the last meeting, if you look on page 8 of our packet, under Roman numeral 6, the public hearing on Native American education. That's actually the public hearing. We're here.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Under 6 there, public hearing on Native American education. So you see the previous one, the regular meeting reconvened at 6:14 under above 5. And then this says 6:39, but then the regular meeting reconvened at 6:38, so those times are not correct. So I think the 6:39 needs to be like 6:15, because we can't adjourn before we reconvene. That all make sense?
yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I would like to make that 6:39 to 6:15 PM, in which case the reconvening at 6:38 makes sense. And then the other thing is on page 10 of our packet, the last paragraph, it quotes me as saying, "I shared the trend as pointing out." I think the word is up, because pointing out doesn't make any sense, and I don't think I said out, but, so I'd like to change that to up. Otherwise, everything else is good. We have a motion to approve the minutes.
I am so moved.
And a second.
I second.
Okay, let me just, back here. Okay, and all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, please say no. Okay. Minutes are approved. I'm keeping notes for Krista here, that's why the little delay here, so. Okay. Next thing is the public hearing on the revised budget 2024-25. And we have to vote to suspend the regular meeting. So do I have a motion to suspend the regular meeting?
I so move.
Okay. Have a
Second.
Okay, Lillian, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Public hearing.
President Rakowski, members of the board and guests, Mr. Hartman is going to come up and give a quick presentation. Just a couple revisions as we close out the school year.
Krista usually turns this on
Yeah.
for me, so we're gonna have a problem.
There's a button on the face that you can
Oh, hiding it.
Now it's
I want to apologize to all the young people in here. Usually finances are done after the awards and you get to go home. So my apologies in advance. I'll make this as quick as possible. Okay, this is board revision number 2. We did one in December, if you'll remember. It seems like a long time ago, but the board requires, or the state requires us to do one at the end of the year to make sure everything is in line. So you all got the really long budget that we did. And what I have here is a summary. So If you have detailed questions, in the interest of time, you're welcome to ask, but I'm going to use Ms. Reed as an example. She emailed me 7 questions about 3:30, and I answered some of them, but I am going to return her questions over email, and then I'll blind copy each of you so you see what she asked and what I answered. That's okay. Okay. Just a quick agenda. We'll go over the timeline so we can all revisit this wonderful year. Just talk about what a revised budget is. I'll go over the numbers and then what we have to look forward to in 2026. June 24, we did what we will do next month with the proposed budget and then be adopted for fiscal 26. Then we did our first revision in December of 2024. Here we are in May 25 doing revision number 2, which is required, like I said, and then next month you'll see the proposed and adopted for next fiscal. Why do we do this? This is I'm going to go back into teacher mode and use a lot of layperson's terms here. Frankly, it's required. You see a lot of acronyms there, mainly with M&O, Capital, Classroom Site Fund. We have to show you where we started, where we have been, and where we are now as we close out the fiscal. And has to be voted on by May 15th. And today's May 7th, so we're doing it now. And then we have the 24-hour advance notice posted. So you see a lot of pages on the budget, so I just broke down the summaries for M&O and Capital. None of this will be a surprise. We've been very transparent, bless you, all year, and we will continue to be. So just looking at M&O first, ADM, that calculation that the state uses, we did drop a little bit from our initial calculation. That is for this current year. Three-ish students, if you will. That did lower the RCL, the revenue control limit, just a bit. Again, we're looking at between $4,000 and $5,000 per student, so it equates to that. We get $1.3 million-ish every year from the override. The calculation, for some reason, this year was $684 less than in previous years. We're dealing with the same budget we started with a year ago, so the carry forward is still the same. I know that seems like a long time ago, but it is the same budget, so we're doing another revision, so the carry forward number stays the same. For Prop 123, our allocation, if you look at our December number, it ended up being about $76,000, but then the state did a one-time $53,000 allocation too. So our total 76 plus 53-ish comes to about 129. We did transfer over, if you remember, in last fall we were transferring 350 from capital. We did transfer the other 335. Again, it's something that we decided to do as a team, just to make sure that there was some M&O there. You know, in the case of emergencies, we can always transfer it back when we get our allocation next fiscal. So that in turn The GBL, which as you know is the maximum amount you can spend if you spend every dollar, did go up a little bit because we transfer money over from capital. So that's what happened there. Now to capital, again, these are allocations calculated by the state, unrestricted, so December was 715. We ended up transferring we ended up transferring less than that, what we were allocated, about $30,000 less. The budget balance carry forward from last fiscal to this was a little under 1.2 million. I throw interest in there, and again, there you see the transfer, the initial transfer, then the total, and then the difference between the two. I know it can be a little confusing if you're going left to right. I don't want anybody to have a heart attack and think we just transferred this entire $685,000. So I'm learning to not read PowerPoints like a principal, but like an accountant. And again, the GBL went down in capital because we transferred it to M&O. So that's how that works. So just in case you wondered what you had to look forward to this summer, we are projecting capital 610, M&O 001, carry forward for next year approximately about 600,000 each. We've, I don't want to say cut off spending, but pretty much stopped spending, non-emergency things. The occasional AIA fees from our athletic director, she's in here, I think. Sometimes pop up, but those are, a couple of thousand here, a couple of thousand there. And as you know, we avoid M&O at all costs. If we can take from another account legally, we do that. We do have the land sale status, which we just talked about. So that will proceed. And as Dr. J has mentioned numerous times, give us some capital in the future. And then what we will do is on June 4th, I will propose the budget for fiscal 26. You can give feedback, ask questions, email questions, etc. And then on the 18th, I believe, I think I have the dates right, we will use it as an action item so we can move into fiscal 26 on July 1st with a budget. And with that, that is the revised budget. The big item on there, as you know, was the transfer from capital M&O, which was not a surprise, but hence the other revision.
Any questions?
I have a few. In my defense, I just like to have the candid conversation. It's always easier to ask questions that way than to try and come in.
If I can piggyback on that, Ms. Reed had some really good questions. 7 of 8 I answered. I'm checking into a couple of them, and I actually have an email draft, but I just want to double check before I respond. But she's going to ask the questions now so everybody hears, and like I said, I've got the email ready to go.
I appreciate it, thank you. And I will, in the future, try to get it out sooner.
Thank you.
One of the things that surprised me was the low ADM. It's significantly lower than our current enrollment rate. Is there a reason that it's?
It always is.
Yeah, I know it's always, but is it, I guess I didn't expect that much of a difference. Is that pretty
Well, you have
normal?
to factor in its daily membership, so we can factor that in. And then you also have to factor in that some students are not full-time students. And we talked about that, like with EVIT.
Okay.
A lot of our EVIT students are .75s.
Okay.
Because they get .75, we get .75. Now, we corrected that for next year through the instructional time model that you already approved as a board. that includes now a period of time when the morning students get back, and that will get them over the 4 hours to get them a full-time status. So I worked with the Vail School District on that to be creative in how we did that. So you already have that approved, so that will help it a little bit, but ADM is always lower than actual enrollment count, always.
Awesome, I appreciate the creativity to fix that, because I didn't factor in that with the EBIT students, so thank you.
Yeah.
And then one of the other ones was the list of federal programs. I appreciate that you're looking into that and getting the eligibility for those, because there was one that I remember specifically looking into when I campaigned, because we received a significant chunk of money from them, the Johnson O'Malley fund. and I
We've
didn't-
looked at that already, but I believe Krista would be the best to
I
answer that.
figured
But I
that.
believe she shared with you in a previous meeting that either, I want to, and I don't want to, I'm not 100% on this, but my memory serves me well, was that it was either like the district or Fort McDowell could go for that money, and I believe it benefited them more.
Okay.
So,
Okay, so it was one or the other, because I do
That's
believe
what
it
I
is with Native
remember,
American.
and it sounds like some of you are maybe thinking that too. So we will double check with her when we get back, but I know Dr. Corlett had conversations about that. But for our school district, it was a very small amount. It was not a large amount, like Impact Aid or something like that.
Okay,
Okay.
awesome.
Yep.
And then, if we could look into the other ones, or if the board could at least understand what, if there's certain ones that maybe we're not even eligible for, and that's why we don't take advantage of those programs, or if there's a reason why we decided not to, because then I'm sure some people
Krista
just
is
don't want to.
very, very good at the grants
Okay.
in year 3 now. She is on top of it, and we are always looking for new ones. And I'll give you an example, the safety grant, $500,000,
Yeah.
we got it. We're one of the few districts in America that got it. So I would say if it's not on there, it's probably that we're not eligible, or it's maybe the amount is the time, I'd have to look at that. I mean, we have to factor in a lot of different things, but Krista can answer those when she returns.
Okay, and then most of these other ones, I can wait on
Okay.
the answers to come back.
Okay.
Except for the one that I did want clarification on, because I think I know what the issue is, because it reflects a decrease in our average salary for teachers. Did we just lose some of our top tier, higher paid ones, and is that why the average is now lower? Because we didn't lower our salary.
Well, I can tell you I believe that part of that is, again, I want to get clarification, but 2 of our highest paid employees retired.
I thought that might be what just tipped the scale, because I was like,
And
we've
that will
raised.
affect it, obviously, in a district of our size.
okay.
But no, we have not,
No one got
we've only
paid.
raised, in the 3 years I've been here, our salaries have gone up, they have not gone down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I saw that, I was like, I know you worked really hard to get raises for our teachers, and so I was like, that can't be correct, but it's just that I need that
believe it's
clarification.
PSI
Okay.
retirees that you've seen in the past, and those
Okay.
salaries are taken, I believe, out of our average. But I will double check, and Krista will give you an email back on whether that is accurate or not.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Anyone else? Okay, since this is a public hearing, are there any comments from the public? If so, come on up. Don't be shy. Okay.
Can you say that into the mic?
I move to reconvene the meeting.
A second.
All right. Yes. Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, 5-0. Okay, back to the regular meeting. Informational reports, starting with summary of current events. Dr. J.
Yeah, President Rakowski, members, board, and guests, thank you all for being here. I'm excited to see all of you get awards here shortly. We've been real busy down the stretch. May is the busiest month in schools, especially high schools. So I'm going to start with our elementary and kind of work our way up. Special thanks to the PTO for the hovercraft event they put on this week. It did make Fox 10 News. So if you did not, I have it on my DVR, but you have to come over to the house to take a look at it. But I did watch it live, and it was very cool to see Mary McDonald on there talking about our kids, Special thanks to Dr. Wheeldryer. She's the one that has the connection there. So it was really cool to see them out at McDowell Mountain. I also want to give some props to Principal Reichler for her Spirit Assembly. We worked really hard this year at McDowell Mountain to make it a fun, highly engaged year and get parents on campus way more. We have succeeded in that. We've had parents and activities this year more so than any other year that I can remember in recent history. And the Spirit Assembly was a PBIS event, so we recognize our kids for great behaviors, the good things they do, and it was packed, and there were a lot of parents there, and our junior Falcon cheer and pom team did a great job of performing in front of the whole school, which is hard to do when you're in kindergarten, first grade, all the way up to fifth, but to get out there and do that was awesome. And then they had a spirit stick, and who won? Which grade?
They were all, they didn't get it.
Okay.
Fourth grade.
Fourth grade, okay, so new tradition, very well done. We had field day at Fountain Hills Middle School, and that was something we talked about this year, is getting a field day, at least K-8. We had our elementary one earlier this year, we had our middle school last week. Again, thank you to Dr. Wheeldryer for getting that done. We had senior award night, which is one of the best nights of the year, and special thanks to Marcia Honley and the Golden Eagle Foundation for all the work they did to make that a special night for our seniors. And it worked out perfect. We were a little scared at first because we had softball and baseball going on, which we can't predict where they're going to finish, but it worked out nicely, and our baseball kids were able to at least get back. Our softball, unfortunately, had to go to Camp Verde, so they were unable to attend. But great night, great scholarships. Some of these go back like a decade or more. People continuing to give to our local schools, and it was just great to see how much money our seniors received. We had FHU Plus night last night, and it was very well attended. It looked kind of like this, and that is our new program where if you do our ASU program, which is free to all our high school kids, so you can earn 30 to 42 credits in high school, right there at Fountain Hills High School, and you also do our AP Capstone program. You can graduate with 60 credits now and have 2 years of college done by the time you leave high school. And we had a lot of people here excited about that last night. So special thanks to Ms. Pinto for all her work getting the sign-up sheets ready to go, and it's looking to be very popular. I also want to give a shout out, and he's here tonight. Both Peter and Teresa Conti are here. They are huge benefactors to the district, and they've donated tuition to FHU for the last 2 years. So thank you to your family for your support of our children here in the town. We had senior internship presentations, and Barry and Evelyn did a great job of putting those on. I got to sit in on a couple of them, and to see the kids speak about their internship was very powerful and what it meant to them and how that's helped prepare them for their future. So that was great to see. And then in the last Falcon Focus I put all of the upcoming end-of-year events in there. So if you're looking for kindergarten, graduation or promotion or preschool, high school, everything is in that email I sent a week ago. So you might have to go in the deleted trash bin file and pull that back out. But if you need it, just reach out to Krista and she'll get it. And I believe she's posted on our website. So with that, I conclude my comments.
Okay. If I could just initially add, the FHU Plus, your homework is to tell people how great our program is. Please. Okay, governing board members, do you want to start this end and we'll move down?
Yeah, I'm going to keep this just on the basically bullets. Terrific kids this morning, went great. Valerie, the kids all had great smiles. I think they're all excited about it. I had my mentee. We had a mentorship appreciation, so mentors and mentees. I had ice cream in the cafeteria. My student is still talking about it today, and that was a couple weeks ago. Youth protection poster judging. That was a challenging event, but the winners were already announced. PTO thank you breakfast. The Spirit Assembly, talk about a decibel level. Wow. Senior recognition night, already mentioned. Middle school boys and girls basketball tournament. Great tournament, a little short on the score, but the spirit was there and they played extremely well. Rotary meeting with a speaker about ASU programs. Dr. J and Zoe were there. Internship presentations in Mrs. Pinto's office. A wide range of experience, really super. And junior achievement field trip. That was really neat, seeing the kids really get into the business end of things. Thanks.
My list is not as long as Bernie's, but I am going to speak a little bit more about each one. So I was able to go to the National Honor Society ceremony, like induction, like bringing new members into the National Honor Society for high school. And that was great. It really brought me back to when I was in school, because we did that same type of ceremony, and it's really nice to hear what the Honor Society does, right? What charitable work that they do, and kind of their vision and their goals. So it's not just about, checking the box and getting good grades. It's also about being good citizens and all of that. So that was really great. Went to senior recognition night. This is my first time ever going to that. And that was amazing. It was amazing to see our seniors get awarded scholarships that they applied to. There were several students who received a few of them, or a couple of them. And also just amazing to see the amount of support from charities and businesses here in our local town supporting our seniors. And like Dr. J said, I guess it's been going on for years and years and years. So really fabulous, the amount of support here in our town. I attended the cell phone policy meeting that Dr. J conducted here in this room. There were not a whole lot of parents here, but I'm a parent and I was here, and there was a few others. And we had a really great discussion, and Dr. J did a great job with his presentation surrounding that and soliciting information and what parents thought, because we will be moving forward with the cell phone policy based on state law now. Also attended the hovercraft at the elementary school. That was for 5th and 6th graders, and my son is a 6th grader, so of course I couldn't miss it. I was so excited for him to be able to do it, and really appreciative to our STEM teachers. Mary McDonald, thank you so much. And to the PTO, I think it's just a great learning experience. I wish I could have been there all day, but I arrived at the best time, which is when everything was built, and I got to start seeing the kids, testing it out and figuring out the different scenarios. Should they have 2 pushers, or which pilot should ride on the hovercraft, things like that. So really putting those data pieces together, and then seeing them get to race and have some fun. So loved that. And I will say that I shared the video of my son riding the hovercraft when he got to be a pilot on it. And there were all kinds of people who commented on my social media about how fabulous that is. And wow, your school really does great things. And so I just want to say thank you to our STEM teachers and to our PTO for bringing that kind of original, thoughtful educational experience to our students. And then the last thing I also attended was the Junior Falcon Pom Awards, and they did like a cheer dance presentation, and that was really wonderful. It's my first time seeing that group and hearing all the awards that each one of them won for their different talents within the team was great, and then getting to see them do some cheer and some stunts. So loved it. Thank you.
Okay, Madison?
Everything in my life was scheduled for this last week, so I actually missed a lot of the events. The scholarship event is one of my favorite the whole year long, and so I was really sad to miss that one. So thank you for updating and sharing your guys' experience there, because that's a good one to go to. I was able to make it to the PBIS store, which I didn't even think I was going to be able to do that. My kids and I had a lot of fun. We're prepping for the students last week to shop is this upcoming week, so tomorrow and Friday. And so my kids and I have had a lot of fun getting things ready for the last shopping spree, since they spent all their points the last week. And some kids have been saving for a long time, so we're excited about that. And then I was also able to attend the cell phone discussion, which I really appreciated. I love the attitude of working together with the community and working together with parents. I love that we held a night. It was lightly attended. I'm glad we had a couple parents that were able to make it. In the future, hopefully we'll just keep getting more, because I think that the more we extend that opportunity to work with us to better the experience, the educational experience of our students here, the better turnout we'll get. And I love that the government is taking a stand when it comes to public funds being spent on education. We're trying to remove those distractions and things that would just hinder the students' capabilities of actually learning and feeling accepted and in place in school. And so I kind of like that we are all, coming on, getting on the same page with that. That's it for me.
Okay, Sandra?
Well, I attended all the coffees, including the preschool one today, which is great to see. Several of the parents there are joining the PTO. They're moving up and they're trying to recruit somebody from the preschool to continue the same thing. I've been to the site councils, which is great to see everything that's happened all year and put more things on my calendar to attend. National Honor Society induction at the high school was fabulous. Not only do I remember when I was in there, but I was the advisor when I taught. So it brings back a lot of memories, and it's always near and dear to my heart, and it's great to see all the things that the students are doing for the community. I know we always did that. I attended the cell phone policy meeting with everybody. The Rotary Club meeting with the ASU CFO was unbelievable, and Dr. J told everybody at the Rotary Club what we're doing here. So keep an eye out, because there's going to be all kinds of information coming out from ASU, and it's thanks to us that the program's doing as well as it is. So they're showcasing Fountain Hills, which is fantastic. I went to a couple of the baseball and softball games, so that was really interesting, and one of them was senior night, so it was really nice to see all the seniors walk up there. The Spirit Assembly at the elementary school was unbelievable, just to see those little kindergarten girls. We don't have any boys in there right now, but it was really nice to see the spirit that everybody brought and the cheering by all the grades to see who was going to win that spirit stick. Senior night was incredible. I've gone every year that I've been here, and the community gives so much to our students here, and if it wasn't for the Golden Eagle Foundation putting it all together, it's just, I don't know where it would go. So the only sad thing was that there were 3 teams that couldn't be there, although the boys did make it. So I have a suggestion about changing the night, that we wouldn't have any sports and not have to worry, so we'll talk about that one. I did go to watch the hovercraft. I couldn't be there the whole time. I went the beginning, so you got to see the end, but I did see it last year, so it was a lot of fun. FHU night was very informative, so I think it's really important for all of us, as Dr. Rakowski said, for all of us to tell people out there what is going on in Fountain Hills. Because for students to be able to get out of here, not only with all the credits they need for high school, but to get so many credits towards college, which could save families a lot of money. Before our meeting, I went to the college signing day. So that was so nice to see how many students were signing to go play sport at the universities. I did also sit in on a few of the internship presentations, which were unbelievable. Every one of them was saying what they're going to do next, and nobody said, I'm sorry I did that one. At least that way I know what not to do later. But that they were all really excited about everything that they did. So it was very nice. I did attend something different, the Arizona World Language Leadership Summit. I had gotten an email talking about that, and I thought I would attend. And it was sort of nice to see what they're doing with world language, which is not that much different than what I did when I taught. but they're looking at things differently, so it's nice to be in on it. And I had a Zoom call with the caucuses from ASBA. I'm secretary / vice president or something for the Hispanic Native American caucus. So what we want to do is there are 3 different caucuses, and they're trying to get them all together because there's so many cross things that help all our students. So we're meeting on how to get a meeting together for the ASBA meeting that's coming up in Flagstaff this year. So I was busy, and my calendar is full for the next few weeks.
Okay, I'll just repeat a couple things. The cell phone town hall, actually all 5 of us were there. I don't think we outnumbered the parents, but that's okay. Senior recognition night was great, and as I mentioned before, I mean, the support of this community, both financial and otherwise, is just incredible. And you're to be applauded to be part of that. I was part of Coffee with Kane virtually yesterday, because it was yesterday. And then the FHU Town Hall last night, and again, like I said, your homework is to tell others about our incredible district. Okay, let's move on. District celebrations, starting with Little Falcons. Ms. Matus?
Hi, everyone. Good to see you. I'm going to, thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay. Well, I am so excited to be here tonight to nominate Savannah Hoover for Falcon of the Month. She has been absolutely amazing this year and truly my right hand. Anytime I've had to be out of the classroom, Savannah jumps right in and handles everything with ease. It's just a seamless change. The kids love and respect her so much. She has a natural way with them, helping each one do their very best to make sure that, and they know that she really cares about them and what they're learning. You can really see how much she enjoys being with them. Savannah has a real passion for early childhood, and it shows every single day. I'm so lucky to work with her and look forward to doing it again next year. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Here's yours.
I also want to point out that she is alumni of the Fountain Hills School District.
Woo! Okay, my next honoree is Sedona. Sedona joined us this year, and we have been so fortunate to have her. I'm so proud to recognize her for consistently exemplifying the traits of a true Falcon. She treats her teachers and her classmates with utmost respect and is always seen with a really bright smile on her face and very good manners. Sedona goes above and beyond to show responsibility. She helps clean up our classroom even when she didn't make the mess. She's always there to help her friends and approaches every task with care and diligence. Her kind heart, safe choices, and positive attitude make her a role model in our classroom. Loved by her teachers and peers alike, Sedona truly embodies what it means to be a true Falcon. Congratulations, Sedona. I'll hold this for you. You want to hold that? And I'll hold
Okay, on to McDowell Mountain Elementary. Ms. Reckler?
So unfortunately, my staff member who I nominated, Alicia Smith, who's my administrative assistant, was not able to be here. It's her husband's birthday, and I guess he trumped us, but I will announce her over my video announcements tomorrow morning, so we'll celebrate her tomorrow. So, but I do have my friend Santi here. And, say hi. You good? Okay. And I am so proud of Santi. He's Santiago. He's made such tremendous progress this year. It's incredible. He has grown socially and academically by leaps and bounds. He's received guidance from his teachers, and he followed it, right? Yeah. And he's always on time, and he's on task, and he is helping his peers all in his classes. And I understand that you're writing stories. Yeah, I heard that. Fiction and nonfiction stories. And I actually read one, and it was amazing. So you did a great job. He demonstrates kindness and respect, and his willingness to help others when helping them with their classwork now is just amazing, and offering a helping hand to our staff, right? Or was like, what could I do? Right? His attitude towards learning is just amazing and outstanding, and he approaches every day with enthusiasm and a strong sense of responsibility. And I'm just so proud of you. It's incredible. So congratulations for being Falcon of the Month. Wait, we're not done today. Yep. Yeah. And so this is.
Okay, Dr. Wheeldryer for the middle school.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Okay, it's been a busy month. I'm so glad you're enjoying this time with us. So for the Falcon of the Month at the middle school, for my staff, it was Mindy Lupine, our health aide. And the one reason why she is one of those people that is so caring and so supportive to so many people. She happened to be in a place on April 11th where two of our students were hit by a car, and she happened to be there. We're so thankful that she was, and her caring heart to step in and do what she's been trained to do. Our students were very fortunate to have someone like her be right there to help them and support them, get our families involved. And those are just some of the things, many things that she does, is the kids were like, thank goodness, you know.
And that was not during school, just so you
It
guys
was
know.
after school hours. And it was a situation where, as a staff, we're very fortunate to have her. And so we thank her every single day. She just can't be with us here tonight. But we do want her to know how much we appreciate her and her commitment to our school and our students and our community. So we love, love, love Mindy. And for our student of the month, it was a unanimous vote. And it goes to an 8th grader, Anaya Chester Quiba. So every morning, I greet her off the bus. How's my peep? And every day, is around 5th period, she greets me in my office when I'm there or when I'm not there. And we have daily check-ins every day, probably since the first day of school. And watching her grow academically, she's on point for everything. She really persevered during state testing. There was a couple times where she needed all day with me. And you know what? I sat there, we She was very, very polite. The things that stand out from her teachers as well as me is she works so hard. She's very particular. Her handwriting is neat, and she has done an amazing job with her schoolwork. She's active and all the things that she does with her church, her youth group. She's reflective, and all the things that she does in her character is, look, she's gonna smile, I'm gonna get it out of her, because, she's so quiet, but yet she's cute. And her contagious smile, just like her principal. So we compete about those things, but she is a joy, and I appreciate how hard she has worked, and I just wanted her to know, and everybody else in the district to know, that how proud we are of Anaya. So congratulations.
So we're going to smile together. As usual, that's for you. And this is for you. And that's one. This one for you. Congratulations.
Okay, Mrs. Pinto, high school.
Good evening. For my staff recognition, I'd like to call up Allison Schroyer, please. Better known as Allie. Allie is the face of the high school. She warmly greets parents, students, and staff each day with a smile that sets a tone for a welcoming and supportive environment. Her dedication is unmatched. At one point in the school year, she seamlessly handled both the front office assistant and principal's administrative assistant roles at the same time, without additional support. Despite the workload, she remained organized, positive, and efficient, keeping everything running smoothly. Thank you so much for that. Allie is a true team player, always ready to lend a hand and bring positivity to those around her. Her presence is not only essential to our operations, but also uplifting to our school community. We're very lucky to have her. And she's also an alumni.
Oh, yeah!
And for our student, I'd like to call up Michaela Lucas. Can you say your last name for us?
Lucchese.
Lucchese. Sorry. I sweated about that last name for like the last hour, and I didn't want to say it wrong. So sorry again. Michaela is a student who truly deserves more recognition. A senior this year, she has consistently earned straight A's, an impressive achievement that speaks to her dedication and hard work. But Michaela is so much more than just her academics. She brings a bright, positive energy to every space she enters. Always smiling, always kind, she's the type of student who lifts others up, whether it's encouraging her peers, encouraging younger students, or offering a few uplifting words to staff. Though she may be small in stature, Michaela's spirit is mighty. Her resilience, compassion, and unwavering optimism promise a future filled with impact and purpose. Go do amazing things, Michaela. You will undoubtedly continue to make an impact on others. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Okay, next up is District Office Transportation staff. Who's going to be doing this?
Come on up, Tina. I am going to, yes, I'm going to speak. I don't see Ray here tonight, so.
I don't know what it is with my directors.
Yeah.
They don't ever come, they nominate me and here I am.
Dina is one of our amazing drivers and does the sped bus route and does an amazing job for our district. And Ray wanted me to share tonight that he's very proud of her work. And as he looks at all the people that he works with, he said Dina stands out for her dedication and her hard work here as a Falcon bus driver. And we can't do anything at school if they don't get here. And we can't do anything if they don't get home. So it's really important that we have great dedicated drivers. And Dina, we just want to say thank you for all you do for our district. Thank you so much.
We can Photoshop Ray.
Okay, next up is girls basketball recognition.
Dr. Bukowski, we were unable to have the girls here tonight. I apologize. Executive session, everything like that. They're going to be coming in June, so I do apologize for that. But as their assistant coach, I could speak for an hour on them, but we're going to wait till June, so I apologize that we didn't get that to you.
We appreciate you not talking for an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, so on to ACT recognition.
I'm going to come up to the podium for that. Chris. I lose these a lot, so that's why Chris is keeping it in his pocket. All right, well, I want to do a little background before we start calling up students. So we did this earlier in the year based off of last year's scores, and we called in students who are now currently seniors and recognized them. And it's really important to me that our academics, we always spend a lot of time focusing on athletics and clubs and things like that, and I just wanted to really this year push harder on the recognition of strong academics. And we have some amazing kids here tonight. They may not all have come tonight, but just want to make sure that we have them here tonight to talk about. So I'm just going to run through so people can see what this class was able to do with the ACT. So when you look at the composite scores, if you look at Arizona, 17.1 is the average composite score. Fountain Hills got a 20, which is a really nice score. And if you look at the orange and the gray, that is combining all students, including virtual academy students. You can see that the composite score from the beginning of the year to the end of the year went up one full point on their composite, which is awesome. If you look at English, you can see again it went up over a point year over year, and 16.1 is the average for the state. Fountain Hills is 19.8. When you look at the reading, 17.3 for the state, 20.7 at Fountain Hills High School. Math score 17.2 to 19.4. You can see a full point of growth in math over the year, but the junior class. And then science 17.3, Fountain Hills 19.6, and again, almost a full point there in science scores. But this is really where this class stands out, is this is how we calculate the letter grade, the proficiency for the letter grade calculation, which is a very complicated calculation. But if you take Arizona, they're about 50% on the letter grade proficiency. Fountain Hills High School math was 70.49, which is really amazing. You look at last year to this year, what a massive growth the school has had. Now remember, this is, when you look at letter grade, they give points for partial, proficient, highly proficient, but they give different levels of points, so it's kind of an average that they use to get to that point. So that's what we'll be utilizing for the next letter grade for next year. And then in English, you can see I had to move the topic sentence up a little bit to fit that green one in there, which is really cool to see. English had a massive growth from last year to this year, and you can see that from the first attempt to the second attempt, how much they grew throughout as students. So that to us is what it's all about, and I'm very confident with those scores and what we do with FHU and what we do with our internship. The high school is in a really good spot to hopefully get that A letter grade again. Before we have the kids come up, I want Ms. Pinto to show you this real quick. She worked really hard. We took all the names out, but these are all of our students pre and post tests of ACT. And I just want to show you real quick how she calculated that.
Good evening again.
Oh, touched it. All right. There you go.
Touch it.
Yeah.
So if you look at the first two lines, you'll notice that the test date, March is what we just finished. Below it is November. But if you look at the date of birth, that is the same kid. So they're November and they're March. If you look at the scores across, we told the kids in November that if they got a 20 or higher, they would be exempt from a final exam in that subject area. And so a lot of kids tried really hard in their November test. And then in March, we said if you showed growth, you would get a grade bump in your last exams for the school year. So what I did was I marked in green every student who showed growth from November to March. And I'll just scroll. Maybe not. I mean, just look at all the green. The yellow were scores that stayed the same. Now you might have seen a blue in there. That student did not take a test in November because they were not our student. They came in afterwards, but still scores over 20. So this result, the green, so much green, really comes from the ACT prep course that we offer and all the work that we did in advisory with taking their scores from November and really honing in individually for every kid where they needed to grow. So I'm just super proud of not only the students, but my teachers who worked really hard to get the kids growth in such short time. So
Yep, so we're gonna now have our students come down here. So let me unplug here for a minute. And if I call your name, I want you to come on down and be recognized up here with us. All right. You want help with that? Sure. Okay. Yep. So I would like to first start with Natalie Owers, Alexander Black, and Allison Gray. These students scored, and I'm not going to give individuals, but they all scored over a 30 on their composite score, and that's kind of where we cut for these celebrations, over a 30 on their composite score, which is really, really hard to do, because if you're looking at kind of that state average, the state is at about 17, and our whole school is about a 20. this is like next level, being above a 30 on their composite score. So they're going to be up here for a while, so I'm just going to keep staying up here, because if they did well in the composite, they're going to be up here for a couple other ones. So for math, we also have Allison Garrett, again, scored above a 30. For science, Allison Garrett scored above a 30. Alexander Black. Cameron Gibb. Come on up. Cameron. No Cameron? Okay. Justin Gibbon. Justin. Okay, we'll still call for them. Matthew Berry. All right. Congratulations. And is Kinsey Schoeneman here? Kinsey's one of our basketball players as well. So these are for the science test. They scored above that, so congratulations. Yeah. And then for STEM, we have Allison Garrett. And Alexander Black for STEM. All right, for English is a big moment. We had a perfect score, which is a 36 on the English, and that is Allison Garrett. Natalie Owers, qualified in English, over 30. All right, do we have any other students here tonight before I call you out that have not come up yet? Anyone else invited tonight? Come on down, all right. Okay, we have Megan Boyce, Addison Atkins, Alexander Black, John Hemingway, Kinsey Schoeneman, and Taryn Dean. Congratulations. Bring them all. Okay. We have for reading, Allison Garrett, perfect score. We have Addison Atkins. Kinsey Schoeneman again. Natalie Owers, here tonight, cleaning up. Alexander Black. Megan Boyce. Isabella Pappas. Cameron Gibb. Rita Homiak. Sophia Garofalo. Savannah Wright. And Paige Summer. Congratulations. All right, and then we have for writing, we have Cricket Manzanares, Natalie Owers, again, Natalia Oba, Devin Araya, and Melanie Gillette. And then for our overall ELA, which includes reading, writing, and English all combined, Natalie Owers, Addison Atkins, and Allison Garrett. So Chris, come take a picture. Board, I just want to share, these kids are amazing. Think back to when you took the ACT, how hard that was, or the SAT, for our students to come in and do this well, and we finished the year with a perfect score in English and a perfect score in math between two different cohorts, but that's pretty amazing when you think about the amount of work these students do. And parents in the room, you should be very, very proud. These kids are going off to do amazing things, and I hope, since you're all juniors, that you're in FHU and take advantage of ASU classes. So let's take a picture with them, and one more round of applause. Oh, we gotta get closer. 3, 2, 1, cheese. All right, we're getting bigger. Okay. Congratulations.
Great job.
Okay, moving on to the site council minutes. Any questions or comments about those? If not, then the next thing is current enrollment. Likewise, any questions or comments on that? No? Okay, next up is public comments. Do we have any public comments before everyone leaves? No comments?
Hold on.
Okay.
I know Ms. Reichler had talked about, were your students coming tonight to do public comment?
They were going to.
Okay, they were gonna come and do it on their trip. To
yeah.
give you a little update, so
Right.
we'll bring them later. But it was really about,
They're still talking about it.
yeah, they were really excited to come tell you about it. So they will come do the June, we'll get them here in June. But we had heard the quickest way to get them out here was to have them do public comments. And not
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, then.
We'll catch it in June. So
They'll come back.
Okay, in which case, we will move on to action items, of which there are several. Starting out with the Personnel Action Report, pages 50 and 51 of our packet here. Any questions, comments? If not, I'll move that we approve the Personnel Action Report. We have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm abstaining.
Okay, so that's 4. Okay, next up is the payroll vouchers. Starting on page 52 through 56. Any questions about those?
I move we approve the payroll vouchers.
I second.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that carries 5-0. And moving on, we have the accounts payable vouchers from page, it says 57 to 43, but it's actually 57 to 73. Didn't catch that earlier. Any questions about those?
I emailed my list of questions.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I did, okay, that one was on there as well. I guess I'll just respond via email then.
Thank you.
Okay, in that case, do we have a motion to approve the accounts payable vouchers?
I so move.
Second.
Okay. And all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Okay, moving right along here. Donations, right? Yeah, donations starting on page 74. And we always appreciate donations. Any questions about those? If not, I'll move that we approve the donations. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, approved 5-0. Next up is extracurricular fees.
My only question with these, since there is no cost for the club, does that mean that the teachers are waiving the stipend?
Yes.
Okay, that's awesome. Tell them thank you.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that.
Any other questions or comments about the extracurricular fees? If not, who would like to make a motion to approve?
I move we approve the updated extracurricular fees.
I'll second. Oh, all right.
Madison beat you to it. Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, moving along to the updated meeting dates, meeting schedule on page 86 of our packet. Any questions about that one?
I do appreciate having the 21st off so we can attend everything.
Yeah, if we get done with everything we have on the agenda tonight, that'll be good. Okay, I'll move that we approve the update to the 2024-25 board meeting schedule. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, moving right along here. Next up is the gifted scope and sequence criteria. And actually, I think I have a question about this one.
Dr. Rakowski, members of the board and guests, we Leah was here at the last meeting to present. She could not make it here tonight. So I will, she did provide you with the changes she talked about in the last meeting. So if there is something that something that you would like answered, it may have to be then tabled if I can't answer it.
Okay, well, maybe I will just kind of bring it up to the board so that you can consider this, and we'll decide whether it's worthy to delay this or not.
Okay.
So on page 106 of our packet, titled Social and Emotional Development, the question I have is in the middle of that paragraph under district description. One of the middle sentence says, the differentiated curriculum also may include examination of belief systems, cultural morals, and values. That strikes me as not really being totally appropriate for a gifted curriculum. And
so the topics that are in there are what we are given, so it wasn't something like we add to it. It was, you have to have things in each of those categories is the way when Leah and I met about it originally. So I don't believe there's a lot in there under that section. I think it's pretty brief, but it was not something that we added to it. It is part of the template.
I imagine it just is maybe even just talking about as you study geography with
Yes.
other cultures
Yes.
and their belief
Yes.
systems.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I understand where you're coming
Yeah,
from.
so it's just the template is how she explained it to me at the time. And I know it was pretty brief, what she had put in there.
okay. The other question I have is on page 108. Same thing in the right column, the last part of that first paragraph. And to honor the diversity among the identified gifted students. Just strikes me as not.
I think what they're saying there is that there's different levels of giftedness, and there are, when you're truly teaching like a self-contained gifted course, there's going to be different abilities and different needs that the kids have. So I think that's what that is talking about there.
Okay. So if no one else has a concern about those two things, if someone wants to make a motion to approve or to table.
I move we approve the, where is it?
Gifted scope and sequence
Gifted
criteria
scope.
amendment.
Yes, I'm not seeing where it is, right, the gifted scope ratification, is it?
The gifted scope,
Gifted scope and sequence criteria
Yeah.
amendment.
Gifted scope sequence.
Okay, Lillian motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm really excited about this one because I know that a lot of people have been waiting for a gifted program and are excited about this.
Okay, moving on to the overnight field trip, summer football camp, page 118 of our packet. Any questions about that one? If not, who would like to motion to approve?
I move we approve the overnight field trip for the summer football camp.
And who would like to second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, moving right along here. Next up is the athletic fee increase, right? The athletic fee increase. Page 121 of our packet. Any questions about that?
I think it's great. I think we're still reasonably lower than a lot of other districts. I know how much my parents paid to put my brothers through athletics, and so.
Just to share, at coffee, we had Boys and Girls Club here, and I asked them about their fee, and I want to say she said 175. She wasn't 100% sure, but she thought it was 175. So when you think about that's, one practice a week, that is a T-shirt or a, reversible jersey, not guaranteed in the gym, a lot of practice are at the park, no transportation. So when you think about a high school sport, 6 days a week practice, transportation, insurance, trainer, the professionalism of it, I think it's still a very, very good price. And when you look at club sports, it's not even worth talking. I mean, it's not even close. So I understand it is an increase, but that fee has been in place for at least, in my opinion, at least 10 years. It's not going to make a huge difference, like in the overall, when you look at all athletics and the cost per student, but every little bit helps. And I think it's a move in the right direction of a $50. It's not a massive increase. So we did put it out to, Ms. Pinto put it out to all parents in a newsletter. We had it at our coffee session, and we talked about it obviously last week. And it was a recommendation of the budget committee that was including high school staff, some parents, students. So we've had no pushback that I'm aware of on that fee. So I just wanted to share that with you as a little update tonight.
Other comments? If not, who would like to motion to approve?
I motion. Oh, go ahead.
Can't beat you. Want to do second, Madison? Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Moving on to preschool tuition increase.
Again,
Page
Dr.
122.
Kowski, just very small increase, $50. Denise is here. You want to speak on that at all? Or you can ask any questions to her. I think the next couple are Denise's.
Yeah, it was just a $50 increase for all day and a $50 increase for half day. But again, we've extended the education time for an hour in the morning. So they're getting more bang for their buck. So that's.
Yeah, and again, I believe we're still really competitive with what they can find anywhere else, and
Yes.
we're better.
Very low.
Absolutely.
I'll move that we approve the preschool tuition increase.
I second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next up is the Little Falcons Handbook, and I do have a question on this one. Page 138, and we had talked about this last time, about using the word thermos as opposed to container, and it still says thermos.
I haven't given.
So I don't know.
Krista, if she has not changed that on the original document, I will ensure it is changed
Okay.
before it is printed.
So I'll move that we approve with the change of the word thermos to container on page 138 of our packet.
I have changed it in my computer.
Okay, well, okay. Madison, do you second? Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, moving along. Club Falcon fees, I think is next, right? Yes, Club Falcon fees agreement. Page 143 and following. Let me scroll up to get up to speed here. Which my iPad just froze on me. Okay,
I have a question that's it's adjacent topics to this. When it comes to like the seasonal camps or summer camps or things that we offer that are maybe extra, or maybe that even just our staff offers throughout the summer, like tutoring services, do we have somewhere where people can go to find that? Like a list of summer services that are available through?
Yeah, Krista usually puts it on Peach Jar, which is one of the programs we use. And then principals typically will have what's going on for their schools available to send out to parents and newsletters.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
okay. Any other comments about Club Falcon?
I move we approve the Club Falcon fee agreement.
A second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, 5-0. Okay, next up is the, what do we have next? Board meeting dates for 2025, 2026.
I think there's a mistake on the April 8th. It says third Wednesday. I think that's a second Wednesday. And then April 15th.
Yeah, that would have to be the second Wednesday.
Yes, I was like, it doesn't.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So you want a motion to approve that with that change?
Yes, I move we approve the board meeting date, the 2025-2026 board meeting dates with that change to April 8th, reflecting the second Wednesday.
Okay, I'll second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next up is the Title VI and SFFA versus Harvard ratification.
Dr. Kowski, members of the board and guests, this is being brought to you tonight as we received a notification from the federal government that all school districts were to sign a form regarding the issue at hand, and that we had until a certain date to do that. And so we signed it to meet the deadline, and after speaking with Dave, our attorney, his suggestion was to have you ratify the signature that was already done, and you can see the form is in there that it was signed on time. It was signed before the deadline. So we're bringing it to you just to ensure that the governing board had an opportunity, because it was such a short period of time. I think it was under 2 weeks we had to, by the time we got it, and it had to be signed. So we just want to make sure the board had a chance to ratify that signature.
Yeah, we appreciate you doing that in a timely fashion. I'll move that we approve that.
I have one question. This is
Okay.
in reference to our compliance moving forward with this.
Yes.
Correct. Okay, perfect.
I second. Oh.
Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, 5-0. Next up is the Purple Star School Program, which we heard about last meeting.
We're here Allison Meekum has done a great job with this, Kim Garman stepping up, and we think it's a great, just another great thing to put on our website and show that we are very proud of our veterans. We have a long history in Fountain Hills of working with our veterans. We started years ago when I was principal, the Veterans Heritage Project, where our students write their stories, and Ms. Pinto is working on bringing that back. That is something that was lost over the years we were gone. But I wanted, the great Phil Yin, who did pass away a few years ago. Phil was a great mentor to many in this community and a great man. It was his vision to see Fountain Hills High School take this program on, and he did live to see that. And we did, I believe, write Phil's story, and just such a great connection for our kids to learn from veterans and be part of that history that I believe goes to the Library of Congress when it's done. So it is a great program, and this is another step in showing our veterans that the Fountain Hills School District respects everything they've done, and we want to be as welcoming as possible to them.
I move that we approve the Purple Star School Program.
Okay, who would like to second?
I second. With a huge thanks to Allison for
Yes.
finding this, and I think it's really neat that we were kind of already doing all of the things that would designate us as with this distinction, and that she found it and got us approved. I think that's really neat.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, 5-0. Next up is the policy advisories, 819 to 862. We had discussed this last meeting, and I did make a couple of comments for your consideration. So just to reiterate, page 188 of our packet, and this is near the bottom, there was a passage there that I suggested that we remove. Namely, the passage is to exclude from schools all books, publications, let me get the rest, papers or audiovisual materials of a sectarian, partisan, or denominational character. This paragraph does not prohibit the elective courses allowed by section 15-717.01. And my question at that time is that there's no definition of sectarian, partisan, or denominational, so it would be very difficult to enforce this. So I would suggest that we remove that section from this policy.
I could agree to that.
Okay. We probably should do a motion in a second, so I'll move that we remove that, what's labeled as section B on page 188 of our packet. Madison, second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. The other one is on page 190. It's also something I brought up last time. Subsection E states to accept the will of the majority vote in all cases and give wholehearted support to the resulting policy. My question is about the phrase "and give wholehearted support."
I believe it's already crossed off. if you look.
Yeah, mine
It's on there.
Oh.
It is.
Yes.
it
Mine is
there.
still in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
mine
and
struck.
Okay.
It is struck.
Okay,
So it does
So we're
say.
okay.
So it's gone.
It says vote in all cases and support the resulting policy,
Right.
which to me that
Okay.
makes.
So,
Yeah, which is exactly it. Okay,
that's been
good.
done.
Mine was still there. Maybe I printed an old copy. Okay, so in which case, then we need to vote on the whole package of 819 to 862. I'll move that, since I've read through all these, I'll move that we approve the package as the previous amendment as we just voted on. Do I have a second?
I second.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, so, who seconded that last one?
I did.
Lillian? Okay, good. The other one, two. Okay, next up is the land sale offers, which we discussed earlier today. And I would like to make a motion to approve land advisors to enter into negotiations on the offers received on the land parcels.
A second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, 5-0. And then last up is, back to my right sheet here.
The revised budget.
Yeah, got too many papers here. Okay, the fiscal year 25 revised budget. Any questions or comments on that?
I move we approve the fiscal year 25 revised budget.
I'll second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 5-0. Okay, it's a whirlwind. Information discussion items, starting with Beyond Textbooks IGA.
Yes, Dr. Rakowski, members of the board and guests, it is that time of year where we renew our partnership with the Vail School District. And I'm here to answer any questions that you have. Many of you have either looked at this, took time to meet with staff, or have been around to see the results. I just will share that there's clear data points that show that the years in which we partnered with the Vail School District, our scores and our letter grades have been very strong. And in years where we got away from it, they dropped. I know there's other factors that factor into that, but at the same time, we have been partners with them since 2017. So this upcoming year would be 9 years. And just one of the things I want to share that a lot of people don't know is through our partnership, it's not just the Beyond Textbooks platform, which, by the way, if you're a young teacher and you have access to that, that is just game changing. I mean, there's a whole website out there, Teachers Pay Teachers, and teachers use that all the time. They pay out of their own pocket a lot of time to buy these resources. They're not vetted by anybody. They buy them and use them. The great thing about Vail is it's vetted, and we have a teacher from Vail in our district, Chrissy Beard, who is, I'm just gonna say, she's the best English teacher, one of the best English teachers in middle school in the state. She's fantastic, Chrissy. We have really great teachers in our district. She's from Vail. She has done, she has submitted assignments in the past to BT and has shared with us that it is like 4 or 5 revisions to get something through. They're very strict on following the state standards, keeping it exactly where it needs to be. And they have over 200 partners, and I've shared this over and over again. They don't want anything in BT that is going to cause issues for their partners. And so it is, we've been using it for almost 9 years now, and I have yet to receive a complaint about BT. It has been a fantastic partnership. And on top of that, they also offer all kinds of trainings that are free to us. We went to the Data Dig up in Flagstaff, and we came back, and you saw the results of how much growth and from the first time to the second time on that ACT with the ACT prep classes. So they hosted a training here not long ago for the Phoenix area. We hosted it here in Fountain Hills, and our teachers were able to go for free. So there's so many levels to this. Angie calls their student data person all the time to talk to them about things. Our principals can call and talk to their principals about For example, the senior project. Vail does a senior project every year. That's where the internship really started in my mind, is being down at Cienega High School and talking to their principal down there about their senior project, and then it turned into us. We have the internship, but then we also have a senior project as a backup if they don't do the internship. So they're just very innovative, and we love our partnership with them. So I can answer any questions you have, but I would highly, highly recommend that we continue our partnership with the Vail School District.
Any questions,
No,
comments?
I have a comment, seeing what it's like to have to write all this, and when it all started with all the states requiring specific things, I think this is fantastic. It's already there for you. You can submit things too if you come up with new things. I think it's a fabulous reason to spend this money. And we're seeing the test scores, we're seeing the improvements by everybody. And what I wanted to say with the ACT before, I mean, obviously kudos to the students, great parents, and this is Teacher Appreciation Week, and boy, do we appreciate you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Anyone else?
I have some questions.
Sure.
Are we expecting the elementary school to implement beyond textbooks and focus there, or rely on the textbooks that we purchased?
So,
I know beyond
it's,
textbooks more
yeah,
than-
complicated answer. So yes, they have been, since I've been back, I gave them the first year to kind of, they did kind of their own thing the first year. And I came in year 2 and asked them to use it with more fidelity and implement more pieces that we see at the high school and middle school. This year, Principal Reichler has taken it to a whole nother level, and she has her grade level teams tracking students, benchmarks, tracking their formative assessment scores, and that makes a difference. So when you're seeing a kid at the end of the week who has not mastered that task or that state standard, then they go back in their win time and they rework it. They take that second formative to see the growth. And we've always found that kids, when they get the reteach part of the program, they almost 9 out of 10 times they pass the second time. So it's really powerful to take that pause and relearn it again. And we've told our teachers, if 70% of the class doesn't do well, then that may not be, that might be, you may need to reteach it, the whole thing. Like, start over in class. Don't make them all come and do it after school or during win time. And teachers have gotten really good at it. So yes, we have started that at a high level this year at the elementary school. We use the textbooks, and I want to be very clear that Beyond Textbooks it's a catchy name, but it's also a confusing name. And I think if they went back to that retreat when they came up with it, they might have changed the name. I don't know. It doesn't mean you don't use them. It means that you don't solely just focus on chapter by chapter by chapter. So the best way to explain it is this. When we went to it at the high school in 2017, Maria Everett's fantastic geometry teacher said to me, after doing this for a year, what we really found was we're not teaching chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in a row. We're teaching chapter 12, and then we're going to 17, then we're going to 2, then we're going to 4, because we're following the state standards and we're following their curriculum map. And once our math teachers at the high school got it down, you can see the data. I mean, they skyrocketed scores when we just all got our arrows pointing in the right direction. And that's really what it's all about. I get the reports of how often it's used. Some of the teachers don't get on it as much because they have it down. They've been doing it for years. Other new teachers are on it more frequently. But so no, they use the new math books you approved. They love their new math books, and they're working hard on those, and we'll continue to have textbooks across the board. But this gives teachers more resources beyond just what's in that textbook, because not everything a textbook publisher comes up with is gold.
Well, and again, I understand that we bought a math curriculum, not necessarily all the curriculum in textbook form. And I still really appreciate Jessica Kane when she walked us through the Beyond textbooks and kind of showed us the system, because it is a library of resources, and in a way it does have curriculum in it, and it's kind of organized by the standards, thus them not going chapter by chapter. They kind of jump around and stuff, and so I saw the value to it. I guess my thought process with the elementary school, and I was definitely a fan of getting school-wide, I guess, like just for the elementary school, a school-wide curriculum so that all of the grades were learning things in similar ways so that there wasn't confusion if they switched classes or things like that, because I wasn't sure how, with beyond textbooks, is everyone learning math the same, with the same approach and stuff, or?
Ms. Reichler, you want to come speak on that? They do. I visit the school a lot, and I can tell you that we've created team planning time now, typically in the morning, so that they have that collaborative team time. So I'll give fourth grade as an example, 3 new teachers, all brand new, okay? But came in, utilized this resource, utilized their time, and had a fantastic year, where in a lot of schools, in a lot of districts, as a new teacher, you're just given a textbook and that's it. And you would love to have access to these other resources and other people's opinions. So can you speak on the cohesiveness of the grade levels?
Yeah, so it's hard, okay? Beyond textbooks and getting used to it, it's hard. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. However, I did it. So the high school was the pilot.
Yep.
And then they brought it down, and my fourth grade team, when I was there, when I was teaching math, I said, oh dear. And we were doing it all, because we thought we had to do it all at one time. And we said, no, let's focus on one thing. And that's what many are able to do. So they focus, but we chose 2. We chose math and language arts to focus on. And what they've seen is that once they take beyond textbooks scope and sequence, and they look in there and they are able to see how to teach and how that works with Reveal right now, they can almost mix them together so easily, because Reveal helps the teachers be uniform when teaching, and beyond textbooks really gives them how to dig into the standard. So it gives them that specific, where are you starting and how are you going to make that standard grow so that the students can learn in that time. And what we did is that we looked at Reveal Math, how long they thought that we should be teaching the standard is the same time, give or take a couple days, of course, you know, on certain standards. It's basically the same time. So it proves that we can dig into beyond textbooks to use that to understand the standard better, rather than opening Reveal Math and saying, okay, let's turn to page 20, even though we're on the first standard, you know, something like that. But you can open it and you understand, because of beyond textbooks, what you're teaching. What I enjoyed about it is that once you got into the groove, it takes a minute. It really does. And once you got into it, I had 2 grade levels, 4th and 5th grade. While I was only teaching 4th because I differentiated, I was able to take the 4th grade standard, find the 5th grade standard, and differentiate for those students, or go down and say, hey, we need to start down here, and how do I bring it all together? Whereas with just Reveal, you don't have all that. It has it in the digital part of it, but nothing beats a teacher, right? I mean, that's the computer part of it for Reveal. So meshing them together, I think, has been valuable. I think it's been, like I said, again, hard. Is it perfect yet? No. Will it get there? Yeah. It took me, my 3rd year, I said, I got this. So as we have all these new teachers using this, and once they realize that they have to put them together, we're going to be okay. It's just a little bit of time. That's it.
And one thing I want to add is, you know, we're bringing Innovate 21 Junior down to the elementary next year. BT has already mapped out what that looks like for us. So we don't have a curriculum department. We don't have a teaching and learning team. So part of that fee is, this is what we want to do, and you need to map that for us. So they did earlier this year. So now, all the way down to 2nd grade in BT, there's now, it's just called advanced math in there, but it is 1.5 years of math that is aligned to our trimesters. So now a 2nd grader would be able to get through 2nd grade math and half of 3rd grade math, and it's mapped out for them with all the resources attached. And then in third grade, they do the other half of third and all of fourth grade math. And by the time they leave us to go to Dr. Wheeldryer, they're 2 years ahead in math, 2 years ahead in English. Then when they get to the high school, they're 2 years ahead. And we know now when they graduate, they can have 2 years of college. That is exactly what BASIS does, okay? You know, I don't think they get as many credits as we're given, but that's the acceleration parents are looking for. And now we have it at least guaranteed down to fourth grade, and Val's working real hard to get it to second grade by next year. If not next year, be the following year. But BT, that's a perfect example of, we just turned it on one day and there it was, advanced math, and it was mapped out the whole year by them. We didn't have to do any of that.
It's amazing. You don't need teachers pay teachers when you have this.
Yeah.
If you just dig a little bit, and that's why I'm saying the first year with it might sometimes be a little hard, but between that and Reveal Math, and you could find anything you want in there. I mean, it's amazing. I never had a textbook when I was teaching fourth grade. So that's what I had. So I did it, and I did it well. They still have my work that I've done, and they're still using parts of it.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that was kind of my question, is whether or not it becomes redundant to also have the textbooks as well as beyond textbooks, or if they can work together and...
And a lot of the textbook they use is the consumables.
Okay.
Yeah, so, you know, the book itself is nice for a parent resource. Hey, I want to look and see what you're asked to be done here. And I can go back and review, but a lot of it's the consumables that they use with the textbook adoption.
So when we were with the pandemic, this is where it all started. When I started doing lessons online, I would have packets outside the school that parents couldn't pick up. So if they didn't watch the video, I had all these how-tos that I had to create. But now Reveal Math also helps in that, so I created all that, you know, and I did step-by-step thing, and I was like, okay, but it worked for that time. But now Reveal Math helps parents work with their students when they take the books home.
Okay, so when our teachers come to teach here and they're not expected to do any kind of curriculum development, they're given the tools and the access to be on textbooks, and that's kind of, because do we have textbooks for our high school stuff, or is this kind of our bulk?
No,
resources?
every class has a textbook. So some of them are a little out of date, but you know they still, you know, we still work.
Okay, but what I mean is we're encouraging our teachers to use the beyond
Yes, we
textbooks.
train that. Yeah,
okay.
we train them when they get here, and we can also send them to trainings, which is great. And one of the things that Vail does also is say, you know, let's just say for a minute, Val has a whole grade level of new teachers and they're struggling a little bit. We can send them to Tucson for the day, and they'll assign them to an elementary school or, you know, a grade level that is really strong for them, and they'll spend the whole day with those teachers and they'll show them how to use it, how it works. They're actually the nicest people in the world. They really go out of their way to answer questions. It's a whole kind of district partnership. So for the departments we do not have, they're a great resource to call.
Yeah.
When I went down there, do you remember we
Yeah.
went down there?
Yeah.
And I watched a teacher do this whole geometry lesson, and I knew it was coming up for me. I was like, oh gosh, you know, because it was something new and it was different. But once I left her, I asked her some questions when I got back here, and I said, you know, that was great, can you help me in this area? And she did. And I put together a strong lesson, which otherwise, you know, I might have just needed a little more help, but she was great.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a great experience going to visit them.
Thank you, Val.
Thank you, Val.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, we move on to the 8th grade fall trip.
We're going to bring up our amazing science teacher here, Mary McDonald, who's featured on Fox 10 News with her hovercraft. Yes.
So our 8th graders this year, our 8th graders coming up are still part of a group of kids that after COVID, we got them in fourth after COVID, these kids. So when Val and I were still teaching fourth, I know they haven't been out of the school very much. So this year I worked to put together, I did 4 field trips with these kids, in addition to other trips that other teachers plan. So trying to get them out and, bringing that regular school experience back. But next year's class also is kind of in that same boat. So I'm looking we just got back from the overnight at the zoo. It took a day or two to recover from that. It was a lot of fun though. And I know that when I came back, the 7th graders were like, can we please go? And so I said, yeah. So I did talk to Dr. J, and he said, you know what, just come and let's ask for some things. So I want to ask to take them overnight sometime next year. I'm thinking maybe April-ish, but when I was at the Dark Sky event a couple weeks ago, I really, really, really want to take them to Lowell. So probably something very similar to what the 5th grade just went on, knowing that these kids haven't been there yet. I'd like to do that with them, and that would probably be another overnight, just one night. And today, in a meeting after school with Dr. Wheeldryer, Chris Peterson was in the room, and then he left, and she mentioned that you would like to see the Washington, D.C. trip for the middle school come back.
Yes.
I'm all about that, too. So I'm just here in one fell swoop to see if I can start working on all 3 of these over the summer so I can have some things to give parents when kids are starting to come back into the classroom first week of school.
My grandson is in California. He just went on the 8th grade trip to Washington, D.C. Had a great time. Of course, he's a teenager, so his answer is, how was it? And he just grunts. So we haven't gotten to all the details yet, but it was an incredible experience. Incredible.
And
So
we
I
did that for
go for
years
that.
in this district. Chris Peterson was, and Luke Salzman, they were the 2 that took them. But we just would really like to bring these type of things back, because these are the most memorable moments for a lot of these kids in their experience in school, is those events where it's learning, it's social, but it's also representing our community. And I think it'd be great to bring those types of ideas back. So I wanted Mary to share those with you, take some questions, and then she will come back at a later time with actual proposals. But we just wanted to get a feel for if there was interest in that, and to give her some guidance.
I'm very interested in it. My oldest son also did the Washington, D.C. 8th grade trip, and it was a wonderful experience for him, so I'm very much for that. And also I would like to just call out for my younger son who's in 6th grade. That particular class did not go on one field trip when they were in 5th grade. So I want to call that out for that class. I think it is nice that they've gotten to do a little more this year, but I would like to see that class get to do more field trips, because they really missed out in the 5th grade year.
We have been pushing field trips this past couple years. And what's nice about that is there is some funding we have available to assist with that. Some of the overnight ones, things like that, there's a fee, but when they just want to take a trip to the aquarium or to, local places, those are pretty easy to do. So we've encouraged that. We think it's really important for the kids to take those trips. So we're all on the same page on that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'd say with that Washington, D.C. trip, during spring break is a great time. It's very costly, so think of fundraising and talk about tax credits and everything else.
Yep.
But it's worth
It is
every
costly.
penny of it.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Okay, well, we'll come back with a proposal then in the future. Thank you, Mary, for
Thank
sharing.
you.
Okay, next up is the cell phone policy.
Yeah, President Rakowski, members of the board and guests, we went through a process, and what we kind of landed on with our town hall night was that we have a good policy already in place, but what we need to add to it is guidance for the site leaders to enforce it, and guidance on the disciplinary side of it, and then even more important than that is the communication piece out to parents, like how you're going to start the year in August with this, and to students about what the expectations are. So after looking at our policy that already exists and the state law, I believe we're covered, and it's just a matter of the principals enforcing that at a high level. And we had a guest speaker that night talk about the Away for the Day policy at her school, and that obviously is something we'd like to mimic here. So I think once we get through the first couple weeks, just like anything, will be some grumbling at first. But you know, I was just thinking the other day, I caught the tail end of Wall-E on TV, and there's a part in that movie where like the person's screen breaks or something, and they all of a sudden see like everything going on around them, and it kind of hit me like, wow, that's kind of real today. Like that movie was pretty on top of things. So once they put them away and they realize that there are things to do, I know the PTO is working hard to provide additional opportunities for kids at lunch and at recess, and we have we've been working on the grass behind the field to get that in better shape for the kids to go down and play a little bit. But once we get past that, I think it'll be fine. So I think what we just basically probably should do is bring back to you a modified version of that policy with just some guidance on the discipline and how we're going to communicate it. And unless you have other things you want in there, but I thought it hit the law pretty square on.
Any comments?
Yeah, I think the other thing was included as devices, not just on the cell
Correct.
phones.
Watches,
Yeah,
headphones, all that, yep.
right.
Anyone else?
Yeah, and then the other thing I'll just call out, just so it's public for everyone who wasn't able to be there. One of the other things that I think you mentioned was the communication of it. So really bringing that to the forefront, right? And communicating it so that parents understand that this is something we're going to start.
It helps
focusing
that
on
it's the
more.
law now,
Yes.
so it's not just, the principals are mean.
Well, and it completely makes sense. If you have a discussion with any parent, they understand the problem that our teenagers and that our young generation is facing with these screens and with the constant distraction that they've become. And like I said, the people behind the apps and the devices themselves make money off of us using them more. And so they've been geared to distract us and to call to us basically and say, check me. So when we partner with parents in a way that we're saying, hey, we're really looking out for your child's best interest, this is where they're coming to learn,
Yep.
we need to remove those distractions. It's just a very logical, I don't think there's going to be too much gray area. And like I said, especially I think if we have that relationship with parents where it's not about keeping the kids from communicating with their families, it's simply about this is a learning environment. We don't bring those distractions into it.
I think we're all on the same page. I think we all have the same philosophical approach to it, and I'm confident in my very strong principles that they'll get it done.
Anyone else? Okay, future action includes club policies, ESA voucher students in sports, student outcomes such as report cards and proficiency data, and a discussion on the Four Peaks property. Upcoming meetings, June 4th and June 18th at 6 p.m. right here. And it is 7:59. Can I have a motion that we adjourn?
We adjourn.
I second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned.